Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. The first 2 weeks of training were going pretty good, but if you've seen the 5K training, you know there is always some kind of issue that pops up for us. So we start the week by missing Monday and Tuesday, and there is a positive and negative here. We didn't just miss the runs because we didn't feel like it or because we were injured or anything like that, which is a positive. The negative is the actual reason we missed the run. I pretty much spent all of Monday trying to turn my laptop on and it would just simply not turn on. I tried every version of troubleshooting known to man and I couldn't get it to come back on at all. By the time I finished trying all the troubleshooting and getting off the phone with Apple, it was like 7, 8 p.m. at night and it was just too late to really go outside and run. Also, the whole situation of like my computer not turning on kind of just sent me into like a negative headspace and just like really made me not want to go outside and run right then. So on Tuesday, I had an appointment with the Apple store to go and have them look at it, and we were there for probably like 3 to 4 hours just troubleshooting. And I know the way I'm saying that, it kind of sounds like, oh, the laptop probably didn't turn back on. No, it in fact did. The lady who was there, I will forever be eternally grateful for her because she got it to come back on. And I honestly feel like 1,000 times even more grateful about the situation because we ended up being there so long that like her shift finished and she had to like have another guy help me in the end to just like make sure it came back on and connected properly. And that same guy, while he was waiting for my stuff to be installed, he was helping other people. And the guy came in with my exact computer, my exact issue. All he did was hold a few buttons down and tell the guy, yeah, so either you can send it out for like a repair, which is going to cost a ton of money, or you could just get a new one. I sat there with my mom in such shock, like, oh my god, if we came like to a later appointment because we tried to work out first or just anything in general, I could have ended up with this guy and my computer would have never turned back on. Like, and I felt so bad for that guy. Me and my mom were trying to figure out ways that we could signal to him and be like, hey, just so you know, like, this just happened. They got my computer back on. Like, don't do it. But the guy also was just like, as soon as he heard that, he was like, yeah, cool. I'll just get a new one. I don't know what kind of world that guy lives in though, that he can just like wake up and be like, yeah, okay, my computer didn't turn on. I'm gonna buy a new MacBook, because that was my worry, that I either knew I was gonna have to spend like $500-$600 or buy a new one. So I feel very lucky that I was not in his situation, but I also feel horrible for that guy. On top of that, by the time we ended up actually leaving the store, it was incredibly late. And then literally as we are walking out of the store, it starts trickling down rain and we get in the car and literally it was like someone just like opened the skies and dropped buckets and buckets of water on us. So also feeling very lucky there that like I got to the car right before the rainstorm happened. Otherwise, now I would have had a whole new problem with my laptop. Now, we obviously could have done these runs on the treadmill inside as far as like the rain factor goes, but since it was so late, that was kind of the main factor for majority of these. Also, as you know, in the past, I was such a huge advocate of the treadmill. I pretty much only ran on the treadmill. And I don't know, after running outside and just like being out there, I don't really love running on the treadmill so much. It's not even about being like stagnant and just staring at one thing, because we do it with the intervals and I think it's just because that's really short that it's not noticeable. But I always feel like I'm on the verge of getting shin splints when I'm on the treadmill, so I'm a little anti-treadmill now just because of that. Now, after all that chaos, I knew we had to pull this all back together. We still have 5 days left in the week. We can do this. So for Wednesday and Thursday, we did our easy runs back to back, which I don't love doing just because I like to give us like space between it. Like the only runs we really do back to back is obviously the easy run and the interval, just because I feel like not that the intervals aren't as intense. I don't know. It's just the way my mind works that I'm like, okay with that. Now, one thing I did discover with these easy runs is that I think I might have found something even better than using gels. I honestly thought about starting the run by bringing an ice pop with me because I had this, but then I was like, where am I gonna put my trash? So that was my hair stuck to me. That was my only thought. I could have brought the other one that was on a stick, because not that I would throw a stick on the ground, but like I was like, this, I don't know, maybe we will for my next run because it was hot out. How do you like screw gels, ice pop, Jolly Rancher blue ice pop? My tongue, it's already blue. All right, I'm gonna go eat this and shower because, oh my God, I'm sweating. Overall though, honestly, the runs weren't too bad having to do them back to back. I don't know if it was just because my legs felt so well rested because I hadn't done a run in 2 days prior. Maybe that's the reason. The only really big issue was that it was so ungodly hot out. Since our schedule was so messed up, I decided that we should combine our push and pull day into like one big upper body day I've said this before in the past, I really like that that is an option for us to have, just since our priority obviously right now is running. So I did all the free weight section and I'm like, okay, let's do the cables now. I go and I'm cleaning off the lat pull down. What are we doing here? Why? Like, I know I'm short and I can't really reach the bar, but I mean I can. But I don't know, that seems like unsafe. Like what is going on in this gym? Like I'm baffled. I'm taking that down. I'm not leaving that. Like I did just say, our schedule got crazy, so we decided to skip on our interval and leg day. The main reason for doing this is because in my head, and even my mom's head, we kind of agreed that we feel like the easy runs and the long runs are just like a little bit more important right now. So we want to make sure we get those runs completed first. Now, if you did watch last week's video, you might have saw that I got hit in the leg with a field hockey ball. I literally just got pegged in the leg with a field hockey ball really hard. That Saturday just so happens to be this Saturday, and honestly, until I was putting this video together, I didn't even realize like the amount of chaos that did go on in this week, because I think when I was living the week, it felt like I was living like 2 separate weeks. Now I did end up finishing the full 5 miles of that run. I honestly just think it was because my adrenaline was just going. Now before I even got hit with the ball, I was thinking like, okay, maybe when I go home I can do legs, or maybe tomorrow if I'm feeling good I can do legs and intervals or just something like that. But since the ball did hit me right in my quad, it basically made it pretty painful to walk. And the crazy thing is that I ended up finishing that day with like 20,000 steps. So I don't even know how that happened. Now looking back at this week, it kind of does seem like a very messy week, but I also feel like it's a very realistic week. I could have sat here and just been like, okay, I'm gonna scrap all this footage and just pretend like it never happened, or I could have tried to like edit this to pretend it was like a really good week. But my whole goal with this weight loss journey and now my running journey is to be honest with you guys, because I'm sure this is not going to be the last non-perfect week of this like 20-week training. But I do feel like these are the most important weeks, because in the past, my mindset would have seen that we missed Monday and Tuesday and been like, okay, yeah, just scrap the whole week at this point. Like we already messed up. Like why even bother keep going? Now, would have scrapping the whole week ended up with me maybe not getting hit with that field hockey ball? Possibly. But also I wouldn't have gone out and done like my first outdoor 5-mile run. I also know that the following week I would have just beaten myself up being like, oh, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Or like if I got into race day, I know I would look back and be like, see, this is because you didn't do week 3. You didn't get up and do week 3. This is all because like this is why we're not performing well. And even though it was like a weird week, it honestly wasn't even that bad of a week. We only missed 1 run and 1 lifting session. So not that bad. We ended up finishing this week with a little over 12 miles, which is pretty good because last week we finished with a little over 11 miles. So we are keeping a nice increase in mileage, but not anything too crazy. So we'll just have to see where next week takes us. I've been using this cream that's supposed to like help bruises heal faster. So we'll see how that goes, because as of now, walking is a lot better, but we'll see how it feels to actually run. But that is all for this week. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you also had a crappy week of training, let's just all stay positive and know that next week will hopefully be even just like 1% better. But till then though, roll the outro.